One Money in the Bank briefcase is out of play now, and Naomi is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Love that for her and for us. She's going to be a great champion, and this is your Evolution 2 Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Evolution. And, well, I also do this for Raw, SmackDown, and or all PLEs, and if they do a Evolution 3, in the next 7 years, well, I'll do one for that as well. Hopefully we get one next year, because boy howdy, that was probably the best PLE of the year when it comes to WWE. So let's just see what people had to say. Travis Sharp, WWE 2, finally a perfect show. Yes, it was. Dez 12458. This show was so good, I'm freaking buzzing. They kept Naomi so far away from the World Championship that nobody was even thinking about her, and hearing her music was so good. 10 out of 10. Yeah, we all thought she was going after Jade. We all thought it was a done conclusion, right? Written in stone that Jade was going to beat Tiffany at SummerSlam, and then Naomi would cash in. But no, she decided to interrupt the greatest women's match in recent memory, and well, she became champion. She took the narrative, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I absolutely loved the decision for Naomi to cash in and win the world title. Before I go any further with hot takes, I want to tell you how you can cash in and win this world title. All you gotta do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding ding ding, notification. This is not a toy, it's a replica trying to quit the day job. Help me out, please. All right. Sean Awesome, amazing. Donatello Leonardo, I can't remember the last time a show left me utterly speechless because of how good it was in literally every single aspect, from the in-ring work to the booking decisions. There was literally zero blemishes here tonight, and I wish I could go over in detail how great each match and each wrestler was, but suffice to say, this show was 100% set up to fail, and it turned out to be one of the best PLEs of the modern era, hands down. 11 out of 10 chops for him. Yeah, I really honestly believe that this show was set up to fail. On the review, there was a commenter. They commented how I had crashed out. Let me see if I can find it actually. Okay, so this is from Rob Nizzy. You trashed the event. He's talking to me, so I'm the you. You talked so much stuff about this event and was wrong. All capital letters. You and the other fans are so wishy-washy. Instead of letting things play out and see how they go, you whine, and then boom! The greatest show of the year. Shake my head. I don't understand this comment at all, to be honest with you. And Rob Nizzy, I appreciate that you're willing to, call me out, but, I think you called me out for the wrong thing. Go back. I left the video up. It's the one with Rhea Ripley kind of yelling, and it says that WWE has failed the division. I still believe everything I said in that video. Nothing has changed. Just because this event was awesome and amazing, it was awesome and amazing in spite of the bad booking. There was only 2 storylines that came into Evolution that had any real worth. The Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, and Bayley storyline, that had a lot of meat on the bone. And then Naomi and Jade Cargill, that had a lot of story too. But that story was actually written for WrestleMania. It just carried over. Other than that, there was 5 other matches on this card that had almost zero storyline. You know what, 4. We'll say 4. I haven't been had the time to watch NXT. 4 of your matches, no storyline. 2 of those matches, your top 2 stories for the World Championship was just I pick you to be my opponent. And it was face versus face. There was no stories going into this, straight up. So, I was 100% afraid that this PLE was going to fail. Now, me saying, oh my God, they are setting up the women to fail, that doesn't mean me saying, oh my God, I really, really hope the women fail. Those are 2 different statements, and I I 100% wanted this to be a success. My fear is that it wouldn't be. But the women showed up and the crowd showed up. Those two things happened. Plus, WWE woke up and wrote an awesome PLE. Those three things happened. Now it could still be a failure commercially. Everything I said still applies. If they didn't make a certain amount of money, TKO will view it as a failure. Us fans, myself included, it views it as a creative and wrestling masterpiece. It was a huge success on the metrics in which we wrestling fans judge it. But TKO, they don't care if it was a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star match. They just don't. They don't care if the fans go away happy or sad. All they care about is if their wallet fills up with cash. And that's what I was getting at. I was saying that the women going into the event were set up to fail. There was not a lot of foresight going into storylines. There was too many PLEs going on. There was just people would be wrestling fatigued. But hey, you know what? I was wrong. Oh darn, I was wrong. People showed up anyways, and they weren't so fatigued they could cheer. I'm glad I was wrong, because those women last night absolutely 100% deserved all the cheers they got, because they had a point to prove. They had a chip on their shoulder last night, and they showed us what they could do. That was a perfect PLE, but it does not discount anything I ever said. I stand by everything I said. I think the women were set up to fail, but they did not creatively. Now we will see if TKO views it as a failure or not, because at the end of the day, if TKO looks at their receipts and they say, you know what? We lost too much money. That was a failure. Never do Evolution 3 again. Well then, you know what? Everything I said is even more relevant. So, I loved this PLE, but going into it, it could have been treated so much better. As a counterpoint, though, to me thinking that the matches needed more story, we have TTJC saying, I think it's ridiculous to think that every match needs a story, because sometimes matches just happen. It used to be much more common that people would just fight. I think it's good to have a mix. Well, if we went by that, and TTJC, very a prominent member of this channel. So this is not me and him arguing oh, TTJC, you moron. No, this is me and him having a conversation with one another. Believe it or not, we can disagree with each other and still enjoy wrestling together. I do feel what you're saying, but I think the non-story matches are better left for Raw and SmackDown. Maybe the tag team 4-way match didn't need to have the most cohesive storyline, but I felt at least the World Championship matches should. Agreed. Sometimes the story is this: hey, I won the crown at Queen of the Ring, and I'm going to go to SummerSlam and fight for the championship. I'm the #1 contender. But to me, when both champions pick hey, you know what? I'm picking you, and then they're both baby faces. To me, that needs a story. So, I do get what you're saying, and yes, there is a place for what you said, but I think they abused it on this PLE. It's OTW. We will definitely look back on this night as the night that made Naomi a superstar. What's crazy is she's been part of WWE for 15 years. 2008? She's one of the longest tenured wrestlers on the roster. She's even a 2-time champion before tonight, and yet right now, she's the hottest she's ever been, and I love that. It just says so much. It kind of inspires me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 45 years old. I've tried many, many times to use my creativity to make it my living, my day job. And here, Naomi, it took her 15 years to get here. How many years? 17 years? Well, you know what? Maybe it'll take me 17 years. Maybe I'm finally here too, with Naomi. Maybe I'm about to to cash in on YouTube and make this my day job. So Naomi inspiring me as well. Just never give up. Never give up. Right around the corner. Right around the corner. Your dreams could be had. Okay, so here we go from Tracy Woods. I like that Naomi got to successfully cash in. I'm not happy it was this match. But on the other hand, I can't wait to see Rhea and IYO both go after Naomi for the title. I get that. Like Tiz Mickey was saying, this was such a great match. We wanted to see it to the conclusion. I think they run it again, though. Then I don't think we need a whole separate PLE for women only. I kind of feel like that means we still aren't equal/valued. I like the show more than I thought I would, though. So, Tracy Woods, I'm going to assume you're a female, so I'm going to not comment. I'm just going to say that there's a comment. I don't want to get canceled or anything. So, that statement is from Tracy Woods. Super hot on fire take here. This is still Tracy. This was supposed to be a celebration of women's wrestling, yet Joe Testatori called Stephanie Fakir's Devil Kiss the bouncy, bouncy, bouncy multiple times. Gross, disrespectful on any day, but 1,000 times more for tonight. I did not catch Joe say that, but I am live streaming, so I'm constantly talking. And I would say that, I'm shocked that Joe, of all people, Joe seems very proper. So I don't know if he was trying a little too hard to get into the sports entertainment biz. But yeah, Joe, let's just call it the Devil's Kiss from moving forward, please. We got Tiz Mickey saying, wow, just wow, what a great show. In my opinion, PLE of the year. My opinion also. OMG, as much as I loved Naomi, and I'm so glad she's women's champion, I'm so mad because Rhea and IYO put on match of the year contender and neither of them won. Again, just wow. This is what Mania should have felt like. Yeah, you are absolutely right. This was WrestleMania moment all over. In fact, I probably liked this IYO-Rhea match more than I liked their triple threat at Mania, and that was my favorite match of WrestleMania. And it goes back to me thinking, there was no need to include Bianca in that match. Bianca should have fought a triple threat with Jade and Naomi, honestly, and it just sucks. It just sucks because we lost Bianca's undefeated streak. Sorry, not gonna get into that. But yeah, this was such a good match. I understand. I'm glad they did it this way. Honestly, I am glad they did it this way, Tiz Mickey, because now we can just run. I hope they run IYO and Rhea again at SummerSlam. Honestly, I hope they just run it again. I could watch those two wrestle probably for the rest of the year, and each time being like match of the year, match of the year, match of the year, and Naomi winning, coming in like that, it allows that story to continue, that I could never beat IYO's story, and Naomi just stole everybody's spotlight. Heist of the century style, loved it. But I do get what you're saying. Sometimes it would be nice. It would have been great to have that bow on it, that this was a nice packaged match of the year contender, because I don't know if it can be a match of the year contender anymore since it became suddenly a triple threat, but it was headed in that direction. Masterpiece by Rhea, masterpiece by IYO, and a master plan by Naomi. Passion Hill lives. Evolution was a much better wrestling event than all wrestling shows this weekend and overshadows all PLEs except Elimination Chamber for this year. It's hard to overshadow Elimination Chamber because that's when John Cena turned heel. I will admit that was the best moment of the year, or most shocking moment of the year, but I would actually put this PLE over Elimination Chamber. But you know what? Again, we're allowed to have difference of opinions. You think that one was better? Awesome, great. It was a really good PLE. I understand why you would think that. Martin says, amazing end to the show. So glad Naomi won and we didn't have to see Rhea as the champion again. Just wish she had pinned Rhea, but I guess Rhea said taking a pin doesn't work for me, brother. Wow, Martin, I know you comment a lot on here, but I find it amazing that you found a way to make Rhea into Rhea Hogan here, because Rhea, honestly, I feel she's a very giving wrestler. And if I had someone that had the height of Rhea Ripley, the build of Rhea Ripley, the look of Rhea Ripley, the connection of Rhea Ripley, I wouldn't be booking her to lose a lot either. To be quite honest with you, I just wouldn't. And it's like, I feel Rhea Ripley, since pretty much the beginning of this year, she's been booked properly. I didn't like how she got into the WrestleMania 41 main event, but that aside, last year, fine. They booked her terribly. But 2025, like, I feel has made up in spades for Rhea Ripley's booking, and I don't see it. I do not see the Rhea Hogan comparisons. Somebody has to be the top of the food chain, and she happens to be one of them. But if you look at that entire match, she was dominated. Rhea Ripley was dominated that whole match by IYO SKY. No matter what Rhea did, IYO countered it. I loved it. I did not see Rhea Hogan at all. I didn't. I'm sorry. I just cannot agree with that narrative on Rhea. Oh, you're just a Rhea stan. You just want to meet Rhea and have her hug you one day. I'm chasing the hug. No, I'm not. I don't even like Rhea Ripley, but I'm telling you, you guys are forcing me to like Rhea Ripley because I'm forced to defend her so much that I'm starting to be like, why don't I like her? Like, okay, yeah, her mic skills kind of suck, but why don't I like her? Because, like, everything that I keep hearing about her is just flat out wrong, in my opinion. But again, you're allowed to have an opinion, but that one I think I will push back on a little harder than other opinions. But hey, you know what? Keep at it, you know. But if we're going to call Rhea Hogan, then we got to start calling Roman Hogan. Roman Reigns Hogan is definitely, like, the dude won for 4 years in a row. Like, if that's not a Hogan, I don't know what is. You dare talk about our Lord and Savior, the Tribal Chief? I dare. I'm just saying, you know, turnaround's fair play. If we're gonna accuse one, we should accuse all. Everybody's Hogan. You're Hogan. We're all Hogan. At this point, the only one who's not Hogan is Tozawa. Tactically useless. Hot take, that tag match structure didn't make much sense, but I love the action otherwise. Other than that, this was the best show of the year. Even the tag match, despite its flaws, was amazing in-ring action. The women of this PLE showed up and dominated this weekend. Easily the best event of the year. I understand why you don't think it made sense, but there's a couple ways to do a fatal four-way, and then even a couple ways when it comes to actual tag teams doing a fatal four-way. You could do it the tornado style where everybody's involved at the same time, or you could do it where only 4 people are in, and then you got 4 people on the outside. They chose to do it the even more traditional way. Now, this is a format in which they have done it. Although, if we're nitpicking, I think Kairi Sane was the legal person, and so they got the wrong pin. but that's just me going uber nerd on the whole situation. Jay Levi, now, I'm still done watching full time, but I gotta admit, Evolution was better than I expected. Congratulations, Naomi. Jay Levi, now, I think it was either SmackDown or Saturday's main event. He was like, I'm done, and I was like, oh, maybe you should go check out AEW. But I'm very glad, Jay Levi, now that you got to see this show. And that's the thing about wrestling. Literally, Friday night, I'm crashing out about Jelly Roll. And then Sunday night, I'm just like, whoa, what an amazing PLE. This is what wrestling's all about. That's just wrestling. Good and bad. And I don't want to say anything good about the Jelly Roll situation because I'm so much against it. But I will say this. I do have strong feelings for it. My feelings are hate, but at least I have a feeling for it. Don't want to say any good thing about Goldberg, but guess what? I have a feeling towards Goldberg. It's hate, but at least I have a feeling. And that's what wrestling brings out of us, some kind of feeling. Love, hate, that's what it's all about. Nita Bita, best PLE of the weekend. This was such a good PLE. Hard to compare it against All In, AEW's All In, but when we're talking WWE product, this was the best PLE of the weekend. Mr. Pete, hot take, as far as PLEs go, it's going to be hard for WWE to top what they did tonight at Evolution 2. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but I'll tell you what, for some reason, when WWE's back is against the wall, that's when they're at their best. Honestly, Liv Morgan was going to be like, I think, the centerpiece of this PLE, and now look how good this was. I hate that Liv Morgan wasn't here, but sometimes I feel like you need to throw a hornet's nest in the WWE writing room for them to get them actually thinking. I think they play it too safe. I wish it wouldn't take tragedy for stuff like this to happen, and that's why AEW honestly is so important to the business, because we need AEW to get better and better and better, which they are, and that allows WWE to then write more and more creatively. We got 3 weeks to SummerSlam. Let's see if we can get that, and unfortunately it might happen, because again, their backs are going to be against the wall because they lost Seth freaking Rollins at Saturday night's main event, and I just hope they can pull out another banger, because this could have been night one. This could have straight up been night one of SummerSlam. I would have been all for it. Kenny Omega fired the entire writing room and put whoever was in charge of that PLE in there instead. Well, to be fair, someone in that writing room probably was in charge of this, but whoever that was, promote him to head booker. Mac Gaming _ball. This might have been one of the most predictable PLEs of all time. I felt like all the matches had an obvious winner. I did not. I don't see that at all. No, nobody claimed Naomi going and cashing in on Io and Bianca on their bingo card. I think one person, Alfonso Passion did. But other than Alfonso, like for real, let's see. I thought Bayley was going to win. Wrong there. I thought Tiffany was going to win, so right. I was right there. I thought Charlotte Flair and Bliss were going to win. Wrong. I thought Rhea would win. Wrong. I thought Jordynne Grace would win. Wrong. I thought Stephanie Vakir would win. Right. And what was the other match? There was one more match. And I thought Jade would win. So I had 4 wrong to my 3 right. So not the most predictable for me. Nana says, Naomi the new champ. I'm very happy, but wasn't expecting that at all. So there's another person not predictable. Naomi was long overdue for a push like the one she's getting. Way long overdue, but like her character work since turning heel, just absolutely amazing. Who knew that Funkadactyl had it in her? We have that Nana also says, very sad that Bayley didn't win. I thought for sure Bayley was going to win, but well, you know what? Great match. So that was a great match. Jessica _Elizabeth. Jade Cargill walked into Evolution like she's been running the division for years. She's the future and the moment. I agree, Jade Cargill. She is a star, baby. She is a star. And is she the best wrestler in the world? No. But sometimes you don't need to be the best wrestler in the world. She has presence, she has aura, and she's good enough to go toe-to-toe. I've not seen a bad Jade Cargill match this entire year. Kid Wilkes, Jordynne Grace should have won the title, and then Blake Monroe should have turned. I do agree with that, but I really don't follow NXT stories that closely, so I'm gonna say no comment and leave your comment as is for everybody to disagree or agree with. Cam Nami says, I'm so sad to see Sky lose her title, but was actually shocked Naomi cashed in. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad. I think the saddest part of Io losing is that she's so freaking good, and this was her only real title defense. Like, that's the saddest part to me. She is so good. She is there every Raw. She should have been defending her title once a month at the very least. Open challenge it even. She is so good. It would have been just great. It would have been great if we had seen more of her during the title reign. Bishop Marley, I'm so happy Rhea didn't win the title. I know Rhea is popular and I don't dislike her, but having her win the belt is the last thing I want to see. Congratulations, Naomi. This is how you voice your opinion about a wrestler that you don't want to see win. It's not Rhea Rhea sucks, Rhea Hogan this, Rhea Hogan that. It's I didn't want her to win. I just didn't want her to win, and I'm happy someone else did. I can appreciate that. You don't have to like every single person, but it's like, do we have to like diminish their whole person themselves in order to get our point across? No, Bishop Marley, that was a very respectful, and I appreciate that. Comment of Doom, the women tag division needed this. We now have 4 competitive teams. I'm hoping for the Kabuki Warriors to win the titles. Yeah, this is so great. I really hope that Charlotte and Alexa stay together. Love it, love it. It's so refreshing to see Charlotte now, how she is. The Kabuki Warriors, they're just great together, and they're a proper tag team. Great moves. Can't really speak on Sol Ruka and oh shoot, I'm so sorry, but I'm forgetting the other one's name at the moment. I do apologize. And then just gonna do great things for Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez. So like great stuff right there. Brawl Mayhem, I didn't watch Evolution 2, but to see that Naomi cashed in was shocking because I thought she would cash in on Jade and Tiffany at SummerSlam. Yeah, I love that because again, it shows that you gotta watch everything, even the BPLEs. So like just good stuff all around. The GOAT says, what's going to happen to Tiffany now that we know Naomi won't be cashing in on her? Well, because Tiffany is SmackDown, I believe the Queen of the Ring, they had to fight their brand. And Jade is on SmackDown, so I don't think she gets a choice like the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. I think she has to wrestle Tiffany. Now, they could easily throw that rule out the window, so we shall see, and it might easily just become Jade versus Naomi. But as of right now, based upon my understanding of all the rules, it has to be Jade versus Tiffany unless Tiffany loses her title beforehand. WTF patch, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we get when we have a PLE and its results are unpredictable. There you go, unpredictable. Jimbo Slice. I think WWE is moving away from Roxanne and Dom's storyline and using Roxanne to help get Raquel over in the storyline with Liv. It does feel like Raquel turned up the intensity in recent weeks and she needs a storyline rub more than Dom does. I could see, but honestly, I could see Roxanne doing both, because like she could easily get both Raquel and Dom to turn on Liv, thus completing Liv as a face. Because when she comes back, we're all going to want to cheer her. But either way, I honestly think Raquel's been turning it up since the beginning of the year. I said this in my review, I think, that I thought Raquel was a garbage wrestler last year, but this year, I forget what it was. It was like a tag team match. Suddenly, I was like, wow, Raquel's doing good. And then the next week, she did better. And the next week, she did better. Every time I see her now, I'm just so impressed with Raquel Rodriguez. And so she has turned it up, though. I will say she has turned it up. And then Jimbo also says, I'm glad they kept Rhea from pinning IYO. Some megastars just need kryptonite. There you go. I'm glad too. We can keep this story going. You want to know what's funny? Sometimes a wrestler does need a kryptonite. Some wrestler who can never beat them. You know who Randy Orton's kryptonite was? Jinder Mahal. Don't hinder Jinder. When Jinder won the title, after that, I don't remember Randy Orton ever beating the guy. So just a fun fact for you. The DM link. This PLE is the one to beat. Money in the Bank. I was saying Naomi couldn't hang with the rest of her in-ring talent, the rest of the women. I was wrong. Chop, you were right about her. Hey, you know what? I'm happy you were wrong, and I'm happy I was right, because Naomi is like, she is showing up, showing out. All credit to her, and I give you credit too. A lot of people won't admit that they're wrong, and it's not because I'm just like, oh, I'm so right. No, it's just like, hey man, if we're wrong, we're wrong. Like there were times where I didn't see something in someone. Hey, Raquel Rodriguez, I was wrong about her. I did not see it in Raquel Rodriguez. People would tell me she's good, and I'd be like, no, she's not. I don't see it. And now I'm like, heck yeah, she's great. She's awesome. So like, I'm very happy. DM link, you are on the Naomi train. Just, I warn you, proceed with caution. All right, so there you go, boys and girls. Those are your Evolution 2 hot takes. We're going to do this again for Monday Night Raw. I'll stream it tonight, and then we'll do hot takes tomorrow. After that, we'll probably do like 4 hot, 4 not, and we'll just keep this wrestling train a-going. Choo-choo! Woo! Wish I hadn't done that, but it's already there. Not going to cut it. Have a great day.